In order to save her father, a beautiful girl gets trapped inside a castle with talking furniture and a hideous beast. While she's there, the beast tries to win her heart in order to break a curse. Welcome back to Recap Spot. Today we'll be recapping the 2017 remake of the romantic fantasy film Beauty and the Beast. Many years ago, a rich prince lived in a lavish castle and had everything he ever could have wanted. However, he was still selfish, greedy, and unkind. He threw a big ball in his castle, but only invited the most beautiful people. At the party, the women at the dance all try to impress the prince and make him fall in love with them, but he doesn't seem impressed.
Sounds boring.
The party is interrupted when an old hag knocks at the door and asks for the prince to let her stay at the castle for a night to escape a storm. The only payment she can offer him is a rose, and the prince laughs in her face and rejects her. The hag then transforms into a beautiful enchantress, and everyone in the room begins to flee. The prince tries to beg for forgiveness, but the enchantress has already seen that there is no love in his heart, and she transforms him into a hideous beast. She also curses the castle and dooms it to an eternal winter. The staff members are all then cursed to turn into pieces of furniture, and all memory of them is wiped from everyone's mind. It's revealed that the rose she originally offered the prince is actually enchanted as well, and the prince has until the last petal of the rose falls to make a girl fall in love with his beastly form. If he can't, then he will be doomed by this curse forever, and all of his staff members will become inanimate. The prince knew that no one could ever love a beast like him, and he fell into a fit of despair. The film then cuts to a small village in the French countryside, where Belle, a smart bookworm, goes about her day in the village. She heads to a bookstore, and the people around her comment on what an oddball she is.
To return this book to Père Robert?
Belle takes a new book from the store and comments that it's the only thing that makes their small town feel large. Meanwhile, Gaston, a cocky and over-masculine man, rides through town with his henchman, LeFou, and says how much he wants to marry Belle. Gaston grabs some flowers and gives them to Belle, before inviting himself over for dinner at her house that night. Belle is clearly not interested and rejects the idea.
It's outrageously attractive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Belle makes it back home to her father, who is a designer named Maurice, and she asks him if he thinks she's weird. He tells her that people in the village are only judging her because they're small-minded. He says that she's just like her mother, who was the best woman he's ever known. Her father prepares for a trip to a market where he plans on selling his goods. The market is far away, and he asks Belle what she wants him to bring back. She asks for a rose, which is apparently what she always asks for. While her father is away, Belle comes up with an invention to help her do laundry fast, allowing her more time to read. A girl notices the invention as Belle does laundry and asks about it. Belle starts teaching the girl how to read, and the villagers come by and tell her to stop, because women shouldn't be literate. As the villagers pester Belle, LeFou gets Gaston to come to her rescue. When Gaston comes by to help Belle, he only makes things worse by agreeing with the villagers and telling her that she should be more concerned with having her own children. Belle tries to tell Gaston that they can never be together, and Gaston warns her that she'll have nothing to support herself if she isn't married by the time her father dies.
Do you know what happens to spinsters in this village after their fathers die?
Regardless, Belle rejects Gaston and closes a door in his face. After Gaston leaves, Belle runs off to a hill and talks about how she wants to have an adventure somewhere far away from the village. That night, Maurice is on his way to the market when lightning strikes and breaks a tree in front of him, startling his horse Philippe. Maurice is lost and decides to travel down a path he notices after the lightning strike. The path leads him to wintry woods in front of Beast's castle, and as he rides through the forest, he ends up getting attacked by wolves. Maurice gets away from them and makes it to Beast's castle. He goes inside and discovers that some of the furniture in the castle can talk.
Excuse me?
He freaks out and tries to leave, but as he rides away, he notices a white rose and tries to cut it for Belle. The Beast arrives and kidnaps Maurice, as Philippe runs all the way home. Belle freaks out when she sees Philippe is home with no sign of her father. She rides off on Philippe and soon finds herself entering Beast's castle. As she walks through the castle and tries to call out to any residents, Lumiere and Cogsworth discuss if she could be the one to break them all out of their curse. Belle is eventually able to find where her father is being held, and he tells her to run away. The Beast calls out from the shadows that he's holding Maurice hostage because he's a thief. Belle is fearless, and eventually offers to stay in the castle in her father's place. Maurice doesn't want her to do it, but Belle pushes him out and locks herself in his place. Maurice leaves and runs back to town to get some help. Eventually, Lumiere and Cogsworth come into Belle's cell and lead her to her new bedroom.
Oh, well, I'm not a princess.
In the village, Gaston is feeling down about himself, so LeFou and the villagers help cheer him up by saying how amazing he is. Maurice then shows up and is raving about the beast taking Belle, but everyone thinks he's crazy. Wanting to impress Maurice because he thinks it'll help him get with Belle, Gaston agrees to go with Maurice to the castle. Lumiere starts preparing food for both Beast and Belle so they can have dinner together, but Beast catches on and is furious. Lumiere convinces him to try and charm Belle because they don't have much longer before the rose loses all of its petals and their curse becomes permanent. Beast tries, but ends up just angering Belle, and she says she'll never eat with him.
Will you join me for dinner?
He then tells the kitchen staff that she isn't allowed to eat unless it's with him. Lumiere doesn't listen to this, and ends up preparing a huge feast and performance for Belle that amazes her. Afterwards, Belle asks Mrs. Potts about the beast, and Mrs. Potts says that he actually isn't that bad. Belle then asks about the castle's west wing, and is warned never to go there. Later that night, Belle finds herself in the west wing and in Beast's room. She spots the magical rose and goes to examine it. The Beast catches her and yells that she could have ruined everything and damned them all. He tells her to get out, and she storms off.
You could have damned us all!
Lumiere and Cogsworth see her running through the castle, and she tells them that she's getting out of here. They warn her that it's dangerous outside, but she doesn't care. While outside, Belle gets attacked by wolves and is saved by the Beast, who is able to fight them off. The Beast gets injured, and Belle helps bring him back to the castle instead of taking the opportunity to escape. Meanwhile, Maurice is taking Gaston and LeFou to the Beast's castle, but is unable to find the path that led him there. Gaston accuses Maurice of making everything up, and says he only wanted to help because he wants to marry Belle. Maurice says that he'll never let Gaston marry his daughter, so Gaston knocks him out and ties him to a tree to be eaten by wolves.
Please forgive me, old bean.
LeFou feels guilty about this, but ultimately goes along with Gaston's plan. Belle tries to care for Beast back in the castle, but he still acts irritated towards her. After Beast falls asleep, Belle asks why he's like this, and Mrs. Potts says that his father was cruel towards him after his mother died. A poor woman named Agathe ends up finding Maurice and nursing him back to good health. The next day, Belle reads to Beast, and the two discuss books. He then brings her to his beautiful library, where she's overjoyed to know she can read all of these books, and the two bond over their mutual love for reading. We see Belle and Beast spending more and more time together and growing closer. One day, Beast shows Belle a magical book that can bring her anywhere she wants.
Amazing.
And she chooses to go to her childhood home in Paris. There, she learns that her mother died of a plague, and her father was forced to bring her to the village in order to protect her. The two then return to the castle. Meanwhile, Gaston and LeFou go back to the tavern in the village and run into Maurice. Maurice accuses Gaston of trying to kill him, but Gaston is able to lie and get all the villagers on his side. He then threatens to throw Maurice in an insane asylum if he doesn't give away Belle's hand in marriage. But Maurice is willing to put up with anything to protect his daughter.
You need help, sir.
The film cuts back to Beast's castle as he gets ready for a ball with Belle, and the various servants help him freshen up. The other servants help Belle get ready and make a beautiful yellow gown for her. The two dance the night away and begin to fall in love with each other. Later that night, Belle talks about missing her father, and they use Beast's magic mirror to look at him. After discovering that her dad is in danger, Beast urges Belle to go to his side and gives her his mirror so she can always look back at him. Belle heads back to the village to help her father, and Beast laments about how much he's going to miss her. In the village, Maurice is being forced to go to an insane asylum.
Give me your daughter's hand and I'll set you free.
When Belle shows up and intervenes, Belle shows them the mirror to prove the Beast was real, and Maurice was telling the truth. But this just makes Gaston and the villagers march to the castle to kill the Beast. They all march to Beast's castle and try to fight the Beast, while the different servants try to fight them off. Gaston chases the Beast down and shoots him, but Belle shows up and helps Beast kill Gaston. She then holds the Beast and kisses him, telling him she loves him. However, it's too late, and the final petal of the rose has already fallen, meaning the curse hasn't lifted. Just then, Agathe appears, and it's revealed that she's the Enchantress. Seeing the love between Belle and the Beast, she lifts the curse, and the Beast is transformed back into the prince. The servants all turn into their human forms and are reunited with their loved one. The film then cuts forward, and we see Belle and the prince at their wedding, where everyone is happily dancing.
Click one of the videos on screen right now.